Please welcome to the stage, Jim Laurain.
I had a question for you this morning, and it was, how many of you have used one of these in the past week? Maybe in the past day? How many of you have like 2 of these in your hotel room right now? Yeah. Did you know each year we make over 400 million tons of plastic products, and we throw almost all of it away? Most of it single use, right? This plastic waste, it's filling our landfills, it's filling our ocean. I mean, you guys know this. But we can't just think about 2020. So I just had my 4th child. He's 2 months old today. He might live until 21, 20. I mean, we have to think about what world we're passing down to our kids. This plastic waste isn't sustainable. But what if I told you that we already had a solution to the plastic problem? Do you think you'd have heard of it? You see, we always just assume that when the perfect solution exists, we'll just know. We'll just magically know that it exists. But from my experience as an engineer who's gone to the dark side of sales and marketing, I found that this assumption has sunk so many small businesses and so many products. And a Harvard study found 80% of consumer products launched each year will fail. So why do so many products fail? Well, the first reason is pretty simple. People create products that don't actually fill a need. It's something that people don't actually want, right? This is obvious. But the second quickest way to failure is to explain or market your product based on logic and not emotion. And that sounds kind of crazy, but some testing at the University of South Carolina all but proved it. So for this testing, they took people who could logically think, but they couldn't emotionally feel due to some brain damage they had. And what they found is that without the ability to feel, these people had trouble even making the most basic decisions, like which toothpaste to buy. What they discovered is people make decisions based on emotion and then justify those decisions with logic. In other words, if you can speak to people's hearts, their hearts will win over their minds. So let's take a walk through a few examples that show that intricate dance you need between marketing and technology if we want to change the world. And then we'll come back to our plastics problem. So first, without marketing, terrible products are launched. So marketers are often thought of as people who make pretty pictures and annoying emails. Get mad. But there's a much more critical function that's often overlooked, which is market research. So there are a few places that are as intense right now with market research as the bloodthirsty brawl over breakfast foods. See, unlike lunch or dinner, we tend to eat the same breakfast every day when we run out of the house. So if you can win somebody's primary breakfast choice, you have some steady recurring revenue, and this means a lot to Kellogg's, Post, the big guys in the industry. But millennials, we run out the door without eating breakfast at all. So how do you make breakfast more grab and go? So I'm from Michigan, Kellogg's in Battle Creek. Kellogg thought, well, if I put the cereal in the box, in the same box with the milk, if I co-package them together, that'll work. But Kellogg's Breakfast Mates was a giant failure that could have been prevented with some good market research. So some of the product flaws, it didn't require refrigeration, but who wants warm milk on cereal? It's gross. And then also, they didn't put it in the cereal aisle where you'd expect to look for cereal. They put it in the fridge, milk, and then you still needed a spoon to eat it, so it wasn't really that portable. So think of how much work goes into a product launch in industry, from your marketing, design, and packaging, and logistics. How much could some basic market research have saved Kellogg's? Because honestly, if people aren't going to use your next innovation, there's no value to it. You may as well not have invented it at all. So how can you teach your students to understand customer experience design as they're working on their technical design training? Because if you can speak to people's hearts by understanding their feelings and perceptions, their hearts will win over their minds. So secondly, with crappy marketing, life-saving innovations are killed. So no matter how great your technology is, if people don't understand it, they won't adopt it. So I don't know about you guys, but I think there are few issues more pressing than saving the lives of over 1.5 million children each year. And as it turns out, diarrhea is one of the leading killers of children in third world countries. But its crazy death toll is insanely preventable. So one approach, Population Services International, in their marketing, has a big verbose description of how we're going to fix the problem, laced with 3-letter acronyms, I'm sure some of you have seen some documents like that before. James Grant, the former director of UNICEF, took a different approach. He took a packet and he filled it with 1 teaspoon of salt and 8 teaspoons of sugar. Essentially, that's Gatorade. And he took the packet when he met with prime ministers in third world countries. He'd take it out of his pocket and say, do you know that this costs less than a cup of tea, but it could save the lives of hundreds of thousands of kids in your country? So, a verbose description or a small packet of sugar, which one would actually allow you to start making meaningful changes tomorrow? See, as engineers, we often suffer from this curse of knowledge. We assume that other people know as much as we do about the subject. And Stanford did a study that illustrated this beautifully. So they had one person clap the melody to a familiar tune, like this. And then guess the odds that the listener would be able to understand the song. That was Happy Birthday, by the way. As you can imagine, the clapper, knowing the song in advance, wildly overestimated the odds that the listener would understand it. Even as I was clapping it, I could hear the melody in my head, right? You can't, so there's a disconnect there. And we see that especially when you launch a product and you assume that people understand how it works, how to use it, the role it can play in their lives. So how can you teach your students to speak about their innovations from a customer benefits perspective? Because if you can speak to people's hearts in a way that resonates with them, their hearts will win over their minds. So thirdly, with great marketing, epic wins are possible. So I'm not sure if you've heard of the Microsoft Zune. I was one of the 5 people, I think, who owned one. But it was an MP3 player and a competitor to the iPod. I see someone laughing, so you might have one too. For all the engineers in the room, it should have won. It had better hardware, a bigger screen, it could even wirelessly connect with other Zunes in the area. It was light years ahead of the iPod. But it was outgunned in market share 8-1 and discontinued by Microsoft in 2010. So what beat the clearly technologically superior Zune? Well, dancing silhouettes on brightly colored backgrounds. I'm sure you can see those commercials in your head. Apple spoke to people's hearts with those commercials. So if you don't feel like we can credit commercials with the success of a technologically inferior product, the testing we discussed earlier, it carried the test forward. They put people in an MRI machine and they looked at their brains while they evaluated different products and brands. And what they found is when people are looking at these products, their limbic systems, where the feelings, memories, and emotions lit up, while the data processing and analysis parts of the brain were left largely unstimulated. So we put specs everywhere. Like, that's what's going to win people's minds. That's what's going to win the product and get the sale. But that part of someone's brain isn't even listening. So how do you teach your students to explain their new innovations with emotion and not data? Sounds silly, doesn't it? If you can speak to people's hearts qualitatively, their hearts will win over their minds. So back to our plastics problem. Marshall Madoff claims he found a solution. So technical jargon aside, he can cost-effectively make biodegradable plastic out of plants. So why isn't the world already saved? Well, because Marshall's speaking to people's minds. So Marshall's company Xyloco employs dozens of brilliant engineers, researchers, and scientists. The last I checked, not a single marketing person, which is probably why his website is loaded with technical language and talks more about his multi-billion-dollar valuation than about how much this technology could change the world. In today's world, a video of a sea turtle with a plastic straw being pulled from its nose will cause riots on the streets for plastic straw bans across the country. But no valuation of Xyloco will cause anyone to potentially adopt this world-changing technology. The technology's there. They need to invest in equally as innovative marketing to understand how to speak to people's hearts to that same degree that Apple does. So, technology alone does not cause action. With great marketing, we can change the world, because if you can speak to people's hearts, their hearts will win over their minds. Thank you so much.